Hey Giles, I have lots of weird dreams. I could go on for hours about them, but I will limit myself to just two for now. The weirdest dream that comes to mind was one featuring a bizarre sport. It was based on football, but on a pitch 10 times the size, and not only were the teams dressed as medieval soldiers, but both teams had the use of several highly trained elephants and rhinos. So that was weird. Possibly the most vivid and detailed dream that I've ever had began with me some years in the future in a large conservatory of a house that was mine, with a girl of about 10 with striking white hair who was apparently my daughter. Also in the conservatory were maybe a dozen or two people who were strangers to me, from the local community of wherever it was I was living. These things I just happened to know, they weren't explained. It was night, but the conservatory was lit. The girl stood at one end, and the crowd sat and watched her. She seemed to be some sort of sorceress or illusionist, creating vivid images in the air before her. The crowd has mixed feelings towards the show of magic. Some see deep truths in the images, while others detest or fear the acts. The dream then cuts to later that night. The crowd has left, and my daughter and I are alone in the living room talking. I cannot remember what was said, but at one point she picked up a thick bamboo bookend, which, held in her hand, turned green and grew a few inches from each end. The dream then cuts to even later. It is the small hours of the morning. I have been woken by something, but the only sound I can hear is rain. I am looking at the door to my daughter's room. It shouldn't be ajar. The dream then cuts to some days later. It happened that she was murdered that night, and now her ghost haunts me, blaming me. The dream then cuts to perhaps months later, and I am committing myself to a mental institution. Most of my dreams aren't that interesting. Well, I thought that one was interesting, as dreams go.